Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera for students that are taking this course. So basically, this lecture is a continuity from the previous two mini lecture which I already given to you the videos. So this is actually the continuity or also the third video of for this module 6 of this course. So from the previous lecture video, you have been explained, also give a brief understanding of how fatal electricity can be. So you must put into your mind and then put into your work that safety must come first when you're working with electric utilities or electric tools or electric appliances, because electricity current can cause a lot of harm to you. Aside from electrocution, it can cause you severe damage to your tissue, skin, and also it can cause scar and sunburn to your bodies. So for this third mini lectures series, we will go through something that is normally associated with electricity, which is the circuit. Okay. So basically, electron with a negative charge can jump through the air or to a positively charged atom. So they have to wait until there is a link or bridge between the negative area and the positive area. So electron here cannot jump from here to here because it needs a bridge. Okay. So when there is a bridge, only then they can jump between the negative area into the positive area. We usually call this bridge as a circuit. When a bridge is created, the electron begin moving quickly. Okay, depending on the resistance of the materials making up the bridge, they try to get access as fast as they can. Okay, so if you are not careful, too many electrons can go across at one time and destroy the bridge or the circuit in the process. So we need to limit the number of electrons crossing over the circuit by letting only a certain number through at a time. And we can make electricity do something for us while they are on their way. So when we limit the number of electron can cross over our circuit, we say we are giving them a resistance. Okay? We resist letting all the electron flowing through the circuit. Okay. This works something like a toll booth on a freeway bridge. Okay. Copper wire is just another type of bridge we use in the circuit. Okay. Before electron can move far, however, they can collide with one of the atoms along the way. Okay, this slow them down or even reverse their direction. So it can also, when the atom collide with each other, it can reverse their direction or slow down their speed. Okay, as a result, they lose energy to the atom. This energy will appear as a heat, and the scattering is a resistance to the current. Okay. So when we limit of number of electron, okay. So when we refer current, okay. So when we're referring to the circuit, we normally refer to the current itself, okay. The current refer to the movement of charges. So the movement of charges in an electrical circuit in which the electron move from one negative pole to the positive. You can see here, yeah. So if you connect the positive pole of an electrical source to the negative pole, you will create a circuit. Okay, this charge changes into electrical energy when the poles are connected in a circuit, similar to connecting two poles on the opposite side of the battery. You can see here there is two opposite sides of the battery, and then you connect it, it will form a complete circuit. Okay, along the circuit you can have a light bulb and an off switch. Okay, the light bulb changes the electrical energy into light and heat energy. So when you're talking about electricity operation in Malaysia, you usually associate it with TNB or Tenaga Nasional Berhad. As you know, all TNB operation and process are by the standard set out under certificates. Okay, so the certificate are as follows. Okay, they are as of 2006. Okay, ISO 9000 quality system management, and as from 2006 ISO 14001 environmental management system is being applied. Okay, so the list go on, and the last one is the quality management system for the environment, or the acronym is QE slash 5S from 2008. In the International Organization for Standardization. Okay, an international organization for standardization, or abbreviation of it is ISO, certified is a certificate that confirm management system, manufacturing process, service or documentation procedure that are subjected to standard and quality assurance. ISO is an international non-governmental organization. It is an independent organization that develops standards or to ensure quality, security, product efficiency, service, and system are within standard that should be set. Okay. Many industries use ISO certification in terms of energy management and social responsibility up to medical devices as well as energy management. Okay, ISO standards are provided to ensure the consistency of each certificate that has standard and criteria that has already classified numerically. ISO 9001. Okay, ISO 9001 has been developed for organization, regardless of their size or type, for standard purpose of generic management system. Okay, so the ISO 9001 can be broken down into ISO 9001 2015, and then it can be broken down into 10 section. Okay, these three sections general information on audited company standard. Okay, the certification focus on seven key areas that can be audited, which are the organizational contact, leadership, planning, support, operation, and also the performance evaluation. And last one is the improvement. For the ISO 14001, okay, is one of the World Environment Management System standard. Okay, it's aimed to provide the element of an effective environmental management system for your organization. Okay, ISO 14001 2015 is broken down by 10 sections also. Okay, there are three sections which are general information about standard for your company and are not audible here, which is it cannot be audited. Okay, so the certification is directed towards seven main fields that can be audited, which are the background of organization, leadership, timing, helping, working, quality review, and last one is the upgrades. Okay, OSH compliance. Okay, employees share obligation with manager for shared securities. Workers are energized to form and keep up a secure work environment, to anticipate work environment, and to utilize all accessible gear to ensure them. Okay, employees are mindful for guaranteeing that security officers are in great condition and recording harm gear and item as well as hazardous condition and wound. Okay. The workers are responsible for fellow health workers, and the general public often behave safety and health for the protection and comply with the rule of employment. The health law of an organization and the requirement of the TNB Safety Quality Management System, or the SAMS. Okay, the employee should seek clarification from any doc until commencing research. Research their supervisors. Okay, this in case their supervisors. Confined zone and confirmation permits. Okay, just employees have an endorsement and competence certificate permitted to get to the limited perspective of the organization. So any work to be carried out must be checked with a composed certificate of permit to works, or PTW. Any impedance by unauthorized people counting the common open must be detailed to the supervisors. Regulation and laws. Okay. Employees must comply completely with the law and control significant to the company trade activities. So the task of employees or their responsibility should be sometimes reasonably doing any work, continuously being cautious, get it and take after the rules, direction and SOP. Workers should always be concerned about the safety aspect of the workplace that are set according to work they are doing. Okay. Employees also should be aware of the surrounding environment in the event of an accident should notify them immediately before taking action. Workplace hazard in electric and electronic field. Okay. Unfit employees. There are many workers that do not have a safety certification has often used an electrical equipment or tools. Moreover, in such big chemical company, 90% electrical workers and technical staff unable to complete a voltage test when asked to confirm that the equipment is safe and secure. Okay. Things that can be done to prevent these unsafety activities is sending all staff and electrical manpower to safety training program. This can be developed to all workers that are not skilled in electric work together through these activities. Is not part of their scope. Okay. The best way is planning a safety method such as SOP and guide using the equipment and experiment session. Employee mistakes. Okay. A research on electrical accident and safety measure in India found that when handling machinery, electrical accident frequently occur because of the overconfidence and carelessness. Okay. Supposing the machinery won't cause damage is a catastrophe formula. Okay. Electrical malfunction can occur when the employee ignore the enforced safety rule and regulation and are nonchalant to the danger present while working. Okay. Educating workers on various electrical hazards such as shock hazard, arc flash and their reason for occurrence, for example, will bring the attention of workers to the seriousness of safety checks and help cultivate the electrical safety habit in the industrial workplace. Lack of compliance to security control. Employers have a duty to ensure the health of their staff. Okay. Whether they take action to ensure that the workers comply with the safety rules and regulation or to ensure the workplace and any equipment they have. Security manager need to coordinate, implement and track proper safety protocol in the industrial work environment. Security manager should handle the risk associated with all possible misuse of electrical equipment with effective communication, motivation, positive reinforcement, and also consistent control. Exposed or defective electrical hardware. Damage or faulty equipment and tools are closely linked to poor communication. Okay. The same study from the Fire Safety Research Foundation indicate that this is a source of 37% of US non-fatal electrical workplace mishap. Bad condition of the equipment, use error can trigger exposure of electrical part, posing a significant safety danger. Such hazards include broken electrical cables, overloaded circuit, exposed wire, and also the faulty equipment. Lack of information for voltage non-appearance. Staff are currently dependent on handle detector and voltage indicator to check whether electrical equipment is being de-energized. Nonetheless, this technique put electrical workers at risk because they are exposed to electrical hazard even during the testing procedure. Although voltage indicator indicate voltage per reason, they do not decide if electrical equipment is completely safe to touch. Life-threatening voltage level can still be present even this indicator is not illuminated or harm, okay, or name, okay. In addition, handle voltage testers are vulnerable to use error, and this manual checks allow staff to open door to the electrical panel prior to performing the test. Okay, this exposes employees to the possibility of potentially little voltage coming into contact. Lookout or tag out disappointment. Okay. In Singapore, the Factory Act of Ministry of Manpower, Section 24A, specified that there are 5 compulsory standard lookout procedure for shutting down electrical equipment. Okay, and another 5 measures for restoring equipment before starting services. This the first step in the prevention of electrical accident at the workplace are to recognize and raise awareness of electrical hazard at the workplace. Okay, employers and workers will never underestimate the risk of an urban work climate. For example, okay, for a safety standard, well-designed app, they need to focus on minimizing the risk in order to achieve the goal of providing an injury-free workplace. Hazard identification technique. In practice, okay, and preparing, controlling, and executing the function of an entity, hazard identification, risk evaluation, and risk management or HIRAC is very relevant and it ensure risk assessment. Danger identification and risk assessment are programs used to identify and evaluate existing and future hazards at a workplace, as well as the method used to track or eliminate undetected hazards. The organization that perform workforce risk assessment has noted many improvements in the way they work. Those who have already conducted risk assessment and in their work have reported positive changes in their work practices, recognize unusual act and working condition as they develop and take necessary corrective action. HIRAC is a general obligation of employee under Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 Act 5514, where employee must provide a safe workplace for their employer and others. eh, for the employees and others. Proactive hazard identification method. Below a few examples of approaches you might follow to recognize risk to health and safety before an accident happens, and they have 6 examples for a 9 example for hazard identification. The first one is conducting discussion on the work to be carried out prior to commencement, encouraging people to understand and highlight danger while performing work. Another, conduct identification and conduct audit for workplace protection and ensure that every employee complies with established work procedure. Job safety and analysis or evaluation process should be performed for each job. Monitor every work done involving the environment, noise, electrical work, as well as tests on the atmosphere. Monitor work proposal or modify work involving plant, material use, technique use, and new structure made. Conducting survey on hazardous and risky work that could lead to accident. Constantly monitor travel and safety handbook and check every time of information that arrive. Always review data on hazard examples such as newspaper article about the industry and always make report on accident as well as review past report to prevent accident from happening again. Risk control. So this diagram show you the best practice of risk control. The first one is elimination. Design, which refer to designing it out. Substitution, use something else. Engineering control, isolate and guarding. Administrative control involves training and work scheduling, whereas the personal protective equipment is the last resort. You can see the level of effectiveness increase. So the best risk control is the elimination of the hazard itself, whereas the business value increase. Okay, the increase. Okay, when the risk control is being increased also. In this case, elimination will give you the best business value. Okay, compared to the personal protective equipment risk control. Risk control for electrical and electronic, okay, sector. Okay, elimination, remove any exposure to voltage. Substitution, replace higher risk to lower risk. Engineering control, reinventing best way to control electrical energy. Awareness, highlighting all electrical energy sources. Administrative control, regulation which employees and supervisors how to be safe in the electrical field. And last one is the personal protective equipment. Reduce the risk of hazard that may harm to the workers. Each point of the risk control is of great importance to overall safety, which risk reduction varying from one step to another. For case, the best three steps are outlined to control the hazard. Sometimes recently it get near to the representative. The final three steps accept that the worker is of now uncovered to electrical vitality and should be kept secure, whereas in the near vicinity to the danger. Explanation of risk control. Elimination. Remove any exposure to voltage. The other most effective control measure is the elimination of hazardous work practice or hazard. Dangers may be killed by obtaining certain highlight. Substitution replace higher risk to lower risk. Supplanting an unsafe prepare or fabric with that least destructive will diminish the risk. Hazard and therefore risk. For example, the use of extra low voltage electrical equipment such as battery operated tool may be reasonably practiced rather than tool that plug in on the electricity from the main. Engineering control, reinventing the best way to control electric energy. Okay, use of control step designed to play down hazards such as introducing leftover current gadget to lower the effect of deadly electrical stun. Awareness, highlighting all electrical energy source. All unit or wire must be highlighted to make sure the worker know about something, especially the high voltage wire. Administrative control that instruct staff how to secure. Preparation requires all part of the company from basic on-the-job training or guidance to the electrical technical apprenticeship and supervisory courses for electrical engineer educated. The first aid planning allowing the recovery necessity and the treatment of electricity burn should be accessible to all those operating on the electrical gear and its administrator. And the last one is the personal protective equipment. It will reduce the risk of hazard that may harm to the workers. The PPE consists of lightweight Google, waterproof Google glove, hard hat, apron, and respiratory support. While certain type of PPE are not applicable to mitigating electrical hazard at work, particularly in the case of electrical work is being energized. Okay. So this table to show you the lack of compliance to safety of regulation. A table how you identify a type of risk control and then how you describe type of risk control and how the risk control give you how the risk control will give you being described of how the risk control is being implemented and how the risk control give contribute to the risk control. Okay. So this is a lack of confirmation for voltage and non-apparent. For the case of lack of voltage, Staff are currently dependent on health and health detector and voltage indicator to check whether electrical equipment is being energized. So this is the problem. Okay. Nonetheless, this technique put electrical workers at risk because they are exposed to electrical hazard even during the testing process. So how do you conduct the risk control? Okay. The type of control that you suggest is the elimination. Remove and replace the old wire. Every employee has to replace the old-fashioned wire and check it regularly. For the engineering control, okay, you will prevent the use of old version of wire or the equipment, and then you are using the latest appropriate wire according to each voltage. For the type of control using awareness, you will highlight all electrical energy sources and should be maintained and inspect annually. So all unit or wire must be highlighting and must be inspected by the worker annually. So the last type of risk control is the administrative control, in which all work must be recorded and keep for further inspection. So each work that has been done by the workers must be recorded and kept by the company. So this is the end for this topic or module 6. So you can go through your module, the hard copy of your module, and then you can have a better understanding of what the module 6 is about. So after you have gone through this module 6, you can do the exercise which is being applied together with this lecture series, and then you can refer to your module to get a better understanding regarding this topic. I hope you have a pleasant day ahead, and everyone you have I hope everyone will stay safe, and I will see you in the next online classes. Thank you, and thank you everyone. Have a safe day ahead.